Sha Carri Richardson. This woman, I don't know. I don't know what her issue is, but she seems to be flaming out and flaming out pretty badly. And I don't think there's anyone to blame but herself here. So we're going to start with this article from TMZ. Sha Carri Richardson, runners Twitter likes offensive tweets about Jamaicans. So, you know, for those of you who've been keeping up with this story with Sha Carri Richardson, obviously, you know about her failed drug test for marijuana, got her banned from being able to be a part of the Olympics. She had set some kind of record when she qualified in the 100-yard or 100-meter sprint. You know, so she had a lot of people who backed her on that, and at least the sentiment from most people was that, yeah, it's only weed, but, you know, it sucks. That shouldn't be a rule that's pressed on so hard. Me personally, I was like, hey, you knew if you failed for weed, you knew what was gonna happen. So why do it? I understand that her biological mother passed and she was dealing with that, but you know what the ultimate goal is for you here. Olympics. So why would you jeopardize that? You could have drank your sorrows you could have drank yourself into a stupor. No problem. But you know, if you smoke the devil's lettuce, if you smoke the devil's lettuce, it's gonna be a wrap. You know that. Because whether you know it or not, even though people generally don't care that much about marijuana in the US, internationally, it is not the same. And this was in Japan. In Japan, they don't play with weed. First weed offense in Japan, you can get up to 7 months in prison. 7 months to a year in prison. And if you're a foreign national and you get caught with marijuana in Japan, you will get deported and you will never be allowed to return to Japan. I mean, I've been a few times. I've asked questions. I know what the rules are there. They do not play. It's actually like highly looked down upon by general population for people who smoke marijuana. They're looked at as like druggies. There is a big stigma on people who smoke marijuana in Japan. So that's neither here nor there. You fail that piss test. And then from there, you have people's sympathy, which is fine. I have empathy for you, not sympathy, because you knew what you was doing, but I have empathy. From there, you missed the Olympics, and in your comeback, when everyone, you know, all eyes were pretty much on you after the Jamaican runners, after the women's Jamaican track team swept through the Olympics and was just kicking everybody's ass. You know, you have an opportunity to then come back in the Prefontaine Classic, and not only did you lose, you came in last place. Okay. You came in last place. And not only did you come in last place, which was, I mean, it was last. I mean, where do you go from ninth? You last. There's nobody behind you. Not only were you last, but then after the race, when you were interviewed following the race, you start to talk shit because now you're embarrassed. Hell, she almost walked off the track before even really, you know, people were done she was the last one, but she was walking off the track. She was showing poor sportsmanship. And let me just read from this TMZ article to kind of explain, from there, how things have unfolded. Sha Carri Richardson seems to be bitter about the heat she's gotten after coming in dead last over the weekend, at least according to her Twitter account, which just liked an offensive tweet about Jamaicans. 21-year-old track star competed in the Prefontaine Classic in Oregon on Saturday, losing to the 3 Jamaican runners who won gold, silver, and bronze at the 2020 Olympics. Richardson, who finished with a time of 11.14, brushed off the L and welcomed any haters to talk all the shit you want to. And some Jamaican fans have taken her up on that offer by talking a lot of smack on Twitter. All of the jokes and jabs, one user in particular came to Richardson's defense, firing back with a pretty offensive tweet. Now, this tweet, I mean, yeah, it was some bullshit. It was some bullshit, but this is Twitter. This is Twitter we're talking about here. I mean, this is the land of bullshit. Twitter is the Matrix. Twitter is literally real life Matrix. Like, you plug in, you get on there and you argue, and that's pretty much that. Hell, I was in an argument for like 2 hours on Twitter today. Shit was annoying because every time I tried to turn away from it and do something else, shit started buzzing again. But this was a tweet that was put out there. Not y'all Jamaicans still talking shit when y'all gotta walk barefoot to your coconut stand every day for a living. I mean, that is some bullshit. Like, come on, man. You mad because she got her ass dropped running and you gonna go there with it? And she liked it. Sha Carri Richardson liked it. And, you know, of course, this only makes her look bitter. It only makes her look immature because it is an immature thing to really buy into this whole, you know, talk shit back and forth because you were the one who lost. You had all these people behind you. You had general public sentiment behind you, and you decided that you were going to allow yourself to be drawn into being bitter because once you got the opportunity to actually run against these girls, they smoked you. They smoked you and everybody else smoked you. That just means you need to go back to the drawing board. You need to refocus and rededicate yourself to actually being a champion. Because it's right now you look like you look like a clown. You do. But that's your fault. That's not anyone else's fault. Now, this situation here also came up to pass as well. And this one I think is really this one I think solidifies her 15 seconds of fame is over. Until she wins something meaningful as a track athlete and then shows the some kind of maturity, I think that this is a very damning situation for her. Because the Olympian, the greatest track and field star that the United States has fielded, Allyson Felix, who showed support for her, said we should give Sha Carri Richardson the support she needs. This was an Olympic champion, someone who knows what it's like to win, who comes out and shows you support. This was Sha Carri Richardson's response. This was her response to an Olympic champion, someone who could have mentored her, someone who could have helped guide her in from a mental standpoint to being a better track athlete. This is what she had to say. Encouraging words on TV shows are just as real as, well, nothing at all. So this woman gave her words of encouragement and she blew them off, slapped them to the side, said that it's nothing. It's not real. Girl, listen, your time is up. Your time is up. Don't nobody give a damn about what you do from this point on. Don't nobody care whether you run track and field from this day moving forward until you can show a little maturity and a little humility about yourself. You proved yourself to be a pauper. Shame. It's a damn shame because she had people behind her and she had companies behind her. They were sponsoring her after that situation with her failing the weed test. And look at how she's come out the other end of it. She looks like a straight loser. And she is. She came in 9th. You can't lose no more than she lost in that race. 9th. Clown.